Another short video about diet and physically living. You know, the Eternal is the lawmaker. The Eternal made animals and other things for us to eat, but in so doing, he also gave laws. And so the well-known law of unclean and clean animals is still for us today. You will notice that it is before the time of Moses, because in the time of Noah, he was to bring X pair of clean animals and X pair of unclean animals on board the ark. So those laws go back before the time of Moses. Now I know that there's many arguments that people try to use in the New Testament to say that these clean and unclean food laws are abolished and that you can basically eat anything that you desire. And some desires are pretty wild and weird. And we find that out by looking at the people in China. Maybe not as bad in Japan, but certainly in China. And I mean, they just eat about anything that crawls. The food laws that God gave to ancient Israel, clean and unclean food laws, are still in effect to this day. Now, all of the arguments that people use to say that that's abolished, I have answered in detail on my website. Now, when COVID came, my website server went down and has not been resurrected, dead. But thankfully, a company came along called the Wayback Machine, and it has saved my website in certain years, as my website was in those years. Now, the best year that I have found is 2017. So this is how you get to my website. Go to Wayback Machine, type in small letters, all one word, keithhunt.com. What comes up? Pick and choose 2017. And then click on one of the little dots in one of the months, say June or April, for the calendar of 2017. Click on one of those dots and then click on what comes up, and my website is there. You've got it. Save it, put it into your favorites or whatever, and then in the future, all you've got to do is click on the saved one that you put into your favorites or whatever your category is called on your computer. Mine, it's called favorites. And then all you have to do is click on that in the future, and up comes my website. On and in the year 2017, you will find the health laws section and all of the arguments that theologians use from the New Testament to say that God's clean and unclean food laws are obliterated, they're gone, and you can eat just whatever you like today. You will find all of those arguments answered fully on my website. Then we have also a wonderful food for us, and it is the walnut. Yes, nuts are all good. Nuts are all good to eat, but the walnut is outstandingly good. I have an article, 15 points, on my blog concerning walnuts and all of the wonderful things that are in walnuts. There's many good things, of course, in all nuts, but walnuts especially. Go on to my blog. My blog is The Meltdown Continues, all one word, small letters, The Meltdown Continues .blogspot.ca. And then choose July of 2023. I've only just put it up there just a week or so ago. So it's near the top. You'd have to scroll down and you would soon come to it. But it would be in the future, next year, I have to tell you to go on to year 2023 and choose July. And then it's in the July blogs that I put there on walnuts. Wonderful things are contained in walnuts for your health and your strength. Now, one of the great things that the Charles Atlas, Mr. Charles Atlas, Mr. Health and Strength Man, one of the great things that he had in his course was to tell you that you need to put away one of the worst inventions ever invented by mankind, and that is white flour. White flour, my friends, is not natural. It's an invention of mankind that should never have been invented. White flour. And Charles Atlas was adamant about that. When I took his course at the age of 14, I put away white flour products. I mean, this is where the main ingredient in the product is white flour. So, of course, that's white bread. There's absolutely no health benefits to white bread. And you've got white donuts and white muffins, and you've got white macaroni, white spaghetti, made from white flour. There's no nourishment in it, friends. And I put away all of those white flour products where the main ingredient is white flour. I did as Charles Atlas said in his course. I put them away when I took his course at the age of 14. So white flour, you need to get rid of it out of your diet. The things that I just mentioned that are very easy to see. A white donut is easy to see. White bread is easy to see. God never intended white flour to have been made. It was an invention of mankind. You take all the goodness out of the wheat, and you're left with basically no goodness. I mean, a tiny little bit. Of course, it would keep you from starving to death. But as a way of life, you need to put away white flour products. Those are some of the important things in having a good diet. Obey the clean and unclean food laws that God gave in his holy word, the Bible. Eat walnuts. Put away white flour products. And believe me, that will go a long way in giving you health and strength.